A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry at Fair Oaks.
Jerry. Hey, wake up.
Wake up? Who's asleep?
You looked like it.
Okay, so I'm awake now. What do you want?
Hey, you didn't see my ancient history book around, did you?
What'd you want it for?
Now, what would I want a book for? I want to look at all the pretty pictures of the Egyptian pyramids.
What's the matter? Can't you read?
Wise guy, huh? No fooling. Did you see it, Jerry?
No.
Oh, it's around someplace. I'll get it later. I just thought I'd go down to the study hall and work off a couple of those 10 demerits.
I thought you were going to work them off by helping to build a hangar for Mr. X.
Oh, I am. But I may as well do everything I can to get rid of them. The faster I work, the faster I'll be rid of them. What's the matter with you?
Oh, I was just thinking.
About what?
Oh, about everything. About the meat, about the fight, about everything in general and nothing in particular. I was kind of giving my thoughts to a double chocolate sundae with chopped almonds on top of it. Maybe a little whipped cream on it now that I'm out of training.
Sounds good.
It is good, my friend. Would you like to have one now?
Sure I would. In fact, I think I will.
My lad. Remember the demerits. Remember the within bounds.
Oh, that's right. I wouldn't mind the demerits. I can work them off, but I got to stay within bounds, and that's what hurts.
It does that, me lad. Just think. While you're bending over an ancient history class book, digging out the facts about Caesar, Alexander the Great, I'll be in Mac's place. All those fellas were great guys, Lee, but they can't come up to a double chocolate sundae with chopped nuts and whipped cream.
Look, Mr. Dugan, just one more mention of that sundae and I'm going to plant one on your chin.
Yes, sir. A double chocolate sundae with all the trimmings. And on a rainy day like this, there's nothing like sitting in Mac's warm store. Just sitting quiet and eating the sundae.
Jerry, for the love of Mike, did I ride you when you were kept within bounds?
No, you didn't, Lee. And I apologize to you for being such a pal. I apologize for bringing up the subject of a nice chocolate sundae with chopped nuts and whipped cream. I apologize for bringing up the subject of Mac's cozy little store. I apologize for reminding you that, well, you got to bury your nose in an ancient history book. Dis. I was mean, wasn't I, for mentioning a double chocolate... Hey! Oh, it's warm!
The next time I'll throw something harder than a pillow.
My friend, your nasty temper has got the better of you over such a trifle as a
you asked for it. You're going to get it, too.
I'll
give you a double chocolate nut sundae.
Lee, remember your blood pressure. It's fast.
That'll show you.
And all over a double chocolate. Okay, we'll forget about it. But I am going to Mac's place. I want to see him.
I'll walk over to Custis Hall with you.
Okay. Come on.
I better straighten up first.
I'll do it while I'm walking. Come on.
Okay.
Say, have you seen Red Morrison since you had the battle with him?
Mm-mm. No, he's keeping pretty much to himself.
And with Bruce Dow Campbell.
Yeah, it's a shame, too. You know, Bruce could be a good egg, but, well, he's just got off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Sergeant Alden going into Custis Hall.
Mm-hmm. I'll bet that he's going to look at the trophy again.
Good afternoon, Sergeant Alden.
Oh, hello, Lee. Hello, Jerry.
Hello, sir.
Well, where are you bound for?
I was bound for study hall.
And I was bound for a double chocolate sundae in Mac's place. Wasn't I, Lee?
Yeah.
In fact, I still am. Will you have one, Sergeant Alden?
No, thanks, Jerry, but I'll walk over with you. I'm going to the hardware store.
Well, okay. I'll see you later, Jerry. Goodbye, Sergeant
Goodbye,
Alden.
Lee.
So long, Lee.
Well, coming along, Jerry?
Oh, yes, sir. Gee, I wish Lee didn't have to stay within bounds for the rest of the week, sir.
Well, I do too, Jerry, but I'm afraid there's nothing we can do about it.
Lee said you were swell in the meeting.
Oh, nonsense.
Oh, but it was swell, sir. Telling the officers that there was some excuse for Lee coming back to the field.
Oh, and that reminds me, Jerry. I have some more good news for you.
About Splendor, sir?
That's right. He'll be about ready to come back here the first of next week.
Oh, gee, that's great. Then he's all better, sir?
Well, not quite, Jerry. But he'll make it all right now. There's no more danger of infecting the other horses, so I'm having him brought back here just as soon as possible.
Oh, poor old Splendor. After practicing for the meet, he didn't get to ride in it.
Yes, and watch the arch there, Jerry.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll see you on the pavement.
Righto.
And back again, sir.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you come in Mac's place, sir, and have something?
No, thanks, Jerry. I may stop in later, but right now I want to pick up some things at the hardware store.
All right, sir. I'll see you later.
Okay. Oh, tell Mac hello for me, will you, Jerry?
Yes, sir. Hey, Mac. Mac, where are you? Mac.
Oh, Jerry. I can't come now, Jerry.
What you doing?
Oh, something very, very important, Jerry. Come back here with me.
Okay. Coming.
Right. Come in, Jerry, come in.
Hey, what's so important back here that you can't wait on a customer?
Wait till I close the door, lad, and your own een will see what I have. No, look around you, Jerry, and tell what your een has seen.
Gee, since when, Mac?
Since this morning, lad. Since this morning. Look here, since 5 o'clock I've been out of bed, pottering around here, and I think I'm all fixed up.
Say, this looks like a regular laboratory.
Aye, laddie, that it is. It may not be as fancy as the big ones I've seen, but it'll do for old MacLeod. It'll do.
Say, what's this?
That's a retort, Jerry. A regular retort like they have in the big chemist shops. The apparatus came this noon, and I have been putting it up since.
You're going to be a regular chemist.
Oh, I hope so. Till 3 this morning I was up reading books. Oh, lad, there's romance in chemistry. Aye, that there is.
Well, will it help you fix up a double chocolate nut sundae?
Oh, hush, laddie. You're talking about Sundays, and I'm talking about chemistry. Look here. I've got an experiment all lined up ready to go. I'm making hydrogen.
Hydrogen? Oh, that's a gas, isn't it?
Aye, that it is. Look here, now. See this?
Yeah.
There's a little capsule on the end of a stiff wire. Now watch, and I'll show you something. I take a bottle of metallic sodium.
That funny stuff?
Aye, it's put in oil because it's dangerous stuff in water. Now watch. Aye, just a little of the sodium in that tiny capsule. Like this. Pocket down. Now, hand me that empty bottle there, Jerry. The one with the wide mouth. Aye.
Here you are, Mac.
Aye. Thank you, laddie. Now, watch carefully, Jerry. And you'll see the gas, the hydrogen, made before your very eyes. So, this basin of water. I'll put the capsule down into the water and watch.
Say, what's that doing?
The action of the water and the sodium frees the hydrogen gas, Jerry. I can't explain why, but watch, I'll put the bottle over the bubble and catch the gas. Now watch. Aye, that does it. Aye. The bottle is full of hydrogen gas, and I have turned the mouth of the bottle down because hydrogen is lighter than air and will escape if I turn the bottle up. You can. Now watch, Jerry.
Hey, what you gonna do?
Laddie, in that bottle is one of the best and yet the worst gases that mankind have got for themselves. It'll carry balloons and dirigibles up in the air, but touch a match to it, like this, and...
Oh, it exploded.
Aye, exactly, Jerry, exactly, and you can imagine what a whole tank full would sound like. It would blow the roof off a creation. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now I'm going to make some more. Watch, Jerry. I'll put the capsule down again, and... Oh, Losh, a customer, and I'm mixed up holding this.
I'll hold it, Mac. You wait on the customer.
No, Losh, lad. This is too dangerous for a beginner. You wait on the customer. I'll hurry out as fast as I can.
All right, Mac. Oh,
I beg pardon. Is Mr. McLeod about?
Why, he's busy now, Bruce. But I'll wait on you. Mac said I should.
Oh, I see. Well, I'd like some stationery.
What kind?
Oh, any kind, I suppose.
I think it's in this case. Yeah, there it is. Here you are.
Thank you. How much, please?
It says 50 cents on the box.
Thank you.
Hey, where have you been keeping yourself, Bruce? We haven't seen much of you.
Really? Oh, I don't have 50 cents in change. Here's $1.
Okay, I'll get Mac to change it. Say, why don't you come around once in a while and get acquainted?
I believe we are acquainted, Mr. Dugan.
Oh, I mean, we could have some good times together. You and Lee and I.
No, thank you.
Oh, what do you hang around Red Morrison for?
I beg your pardon, Mr. Dugan, but I can choose my own friends.
Oh, sure.
Now, would you mind giving me the stationery and getting my change?
Oh, sure. Here you are. But, say, I really meant that about coming around once in a while. I know how you feel, being strange and all that. I felt that way, too.
Really? But I don't have the slightest interest in your personal feelings, Mr. Dugan. Nor do I care to be told about mine. Thank you.
Okay. I was just trying to be friendly. If you want to hang with Red, that's your business.
Exactly. It's my business.
Sure, but... Well, I think you're being a sap.
I'll thank you not to call me names, Mr. Dugan.
Who called you names?
Unless my hearing is very bad, you did.
Oh, you're crazy.
I expect an apology for that remark.
Yeah? Well, try and get it.
Mr. Dugan, once before we very nearly got into a fight. And this time I might say we're very close to it again.
If you want to fight about somebody trying to be friendly, well, then you're a sap.
Really? I don't think you're a gentleman, Mr. Dugan. And that, to me, is even a worse insult than being called a sap.
Yeah?
Yeah, but you wouldn't understand.
Hey, you better cut it out.
I see no reason to hold my tongue.
Really?
You're very childish, Dugan.
That goes for you, too, Mr. Bruce Dow, the Campbell's our Hey, you can't hit me and get away with it. Wait till I get around this corn.
I'll be right here, Dugan.
Okay, I'm coming.
Hey, what's all shouting about? Jerry, Bruce, I heard every word of that. Now stop it. I'll hear no quarreling in my establishment. None of it. Now
I'm
stop
sorry,
it.
Mac. I just tried to fix things up.
Really? Well, you chose an odd way, Dugan.
And stop calling me Dugan.
Lads. Now stop it. Stop it, I say. I'll hear no fighting here.
Don't worry, Mr. McLeod. I'm leaving. But Dugan knows where he can find me if he wishes to continue our discussion.
Blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Can you predict the future? Can you tell what will come in 100 years? Or in 10? Or in the next minute? Tonight we present two ventures into the unknown. Two fantasies of the future, chosen from the works of one of our most brilliant young science fiction writers, Ray Bradbury. First, his story entitled, There Will Come Soft Rains. The house was a good house, planned and built to be lived in the year 1980. The real estate agent had told them all about it.
Now, this is the bedroom. Of course, it contains all the latest devices, self-warming blankets, and, there's a brand new feature. Beds, which make themselves. Now, if you just step this way through the library, we can see the latest in talking book recorders, self-building fireplace, self-cleaning robot dust disposal. Oh, these little mouse-like things come out of the wall and take away all the dirt. Now, over this way. As a complete robot kitchen, of course. Just set the menu for the week and the stove does the rest. Then there's the automatic hydroponic garden, self-sprinkling fire protection. See, the house is fully automatic. Why, you could go away for a year and it would run itself.
And so the family took the house. The man and the woman and the two children. A boy and a girl. And they lived contentedly, enjoying music and poetry and the rich, warm things in life. And the house fed them and slept them and entertained them. It made a good life for them. Until one day, there were 10,000 explosions, and the world shook, and red fire and ashes and radioactivity fell from the sky. The happy time was over.
Tick-tock, 7 o'clock, time to rise, open your eyes. Tick-tock, 7 o'clock, time to rise, open your eyes.
But the house lay empty. The clock talked to the empty morning. In the kitchen, the stove sighed and ejected from its warm interior 8 eggs, sunny side up, 12 bacon slices, 2 coffees, and 2 cups of hot cocoa.
7-9, breakfast time, come and dine, 7-9.
Today is April 28th, 1985. Today, remember, is Mr. Featherstone's birthday. Insurance, gas, atom heat, and electricity bills are due.
In the walls, relays clicked, memory tapes glided under electric eyes. Recorded voices moved beneath steel meters.
8-1, run, off to school, off to work, run, tick-tock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
But no doors slammed. No carpets took the quick tread of rubber heels. At 8:30, the eggs began to shrivel. An aluminum wedge scraped them into the sink.
9:15, time to clean. 9:15, time to clean.
Out of the wall, hundreds of tiny mechanical mice darted. The rooms were a-crawl with small, cleaning animals, all rubber and metal. They sucked up the hidden dust and dirt and popped back into their burrows. At 10 o'clock, the sun came out from behind the rain. The house stood alone on a street where all the other houses were rubble and ashes. At night, the ruined town gave off a radioactive glow which could be seen for miles. At 10:15, the garden sprinkler filled the soft morning air with golden fountains. The water tinkled over the charred west side of the house, the side which had been facing the blast. It was blank, except in 5 places. One of the 5 places was a silhouette of a man mowing a lawn, just as he'd been the instant the radioactivity burned his image into the side of the house. Over there, a woman bent to pick flowers. Still further over, their images burned into the wood, where a small boy, hands flung into the air. Higher up, the image of a thrown ball, and opposite, a girl, her hands raised to catch a ball which never came down. 5 people. 5 spots of paint. On the front porch, the dog whined and shivered. The front door recognized the dog's voice and opened. The dog padded in wearily, thin to the bone, covered with sores. It ran to the kitchen and pawed the kitchen door wildly. Behind the door, the stove was making pancakes which filled the house with their odor, as prescribed by the automatic preset menu selector. The dog frothed, ran insanely, spun in a circle, biting its tail, and died.
1 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Delicately sensing decay, the regiments of mice hummed out of the walls, soft as blown leaves, their electric eyes glowing.
1:15.
The dog was gone.
2:15.
Bridge tables unfolded from the walls of the patio. Playing cards fluttered onto pads. Martinis appeared on an oaken bench. But the tables were silent, the cards untouched.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Dinner was made, ignored, flushed away. Dishes were washed. In the study, the tobacco stand produced a cigar with half an inch of gray ash upon it, smoking, waiting, waiting. The hearth fire bloomed out of nothing.
9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
The beds began to warm their hidden circuits, and the phonograph spoke from beside the fireplace.
Mrs. McClelland, what poem would you like to hear this evening? Mr. McClelland? Since you express no preference, I shall select at random from among your favorites. Sarah Teasdale, There Will Come Soft Rains.
There will come soft rains, and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire, and not one will know of war. Not one will care at last when it is done. Not one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone.
The phonograph finished the poem. The empty chairs faced each other between the silent walls. At 10 o'clock that evening, the house began to die. The wind blew the bough of a falling tree into the kitchen window, smashing it. A bottle of cleaning fluid crashed on the stove. Water pumps shot down from the ceiling. But the solvent spread onto the doors, making fire as it went. Other voices in other rooms taking up the alarm. The windows broke with the heat, and the wind blew in to help the fire. The fire crackled upstairs as paintings lay hungrily on the beds, devoured the rooms. The house began to shudder. The bared skeleton began to cringe in the heat. The wires revealed as if a surgeon had torn the skin off. Voices screamed in every room. Windows snapped open and shut like undecided mouths. A thousand things were happening at once, like the interior of a clock shop at midnight. All the clocks were striking, making a merry-go-round of squeaking, whispering, and rushing. In the kitchen, the stove hissing hysterically was making breakfast at a psychopathic rate. 10 dozen pancakes, 6 dozen loaves of toast. Then, there was silence. The film spools were burned out. The wires withered and the circuits cracked. Then the house began to breathe its last. The beams began to give at the foundations. Long cracks appeared in the concrete. The seams were burst from the heat. And finally, with a huge rumble, it crashed into dust and rubble. Dawn shone faintly in the east. In the ruins of the house, only one wall remained standing. And within the wall, even as the sun rose to shine upon the burning rubble, a voice spoke again and again and again.
No one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone. That we were gone. That we were gone. That we were gone.
Today is April 29th, 1985. Today is April 29th, 1985.
Strange are the uses of Providence. Is this how the end will come for mankind, with 10,000 explosions and a flash of radioactive gas? Or will destruction come more subtly, extended to us gently and innocently in, let's say, the hand of a child? Who knows in what manner 0 hour may arrest the world we know? It was a perfect summer day in the year 1985. The streets were lined with green, peaceful trees. Businessmen sat in their quiet offices, taping their voices or watching televisors. Rockets hovered like darning needles in the blue sky. There was the universal quiet conceit and easiness of men accustomed to peace, quite certain that there would never be war or trouble again. There were no traitors among men, no unhappy ones, no disgruntled ones. The world was upon stable ground. Sunlight illumined the suburbs, and the town drowsed on a tide of warm, sunlit air. On the lawns, the children played, catapulting this way and that across the green grass, shouting at each other, holding hands, flying in circles, climbing trees, and laughing. And in the homes, busy mothers prepared for the evening arrival of their husbands.
Heavens, Mick, what's all the excitement?
We're playing a game, Mommy. The most exciting game ever.
What are you doing in that cabinet?
I need some tools from Daddy's chest.
Your father may not like...
Oh, I'll take good care of them, Mom. I promise.
Very well. Don't you lose anything.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
You want a glass of milk?
Can't stop now, Mom.
What's the name of the game, Mink?
Invasion.
Invasion. What will they think of next?
Now put that there and bring that over here. Oh, no, you ninny. Now get back while I fix this. There, they want it this way, see? Here, just let me fix it. Oh, Mink, it's that smarty pants Joseph Connors. Don't let him play. He's 12 years old. Don't worry, I won't.
What you playing, Mink?
None of your business, smarty pants.
I want to play.
Can't.
Why not?
You're too old.
Just 'cause you're only 8.
No, you'd only laugh at us and spoil the invasion. Make him go away, man. Go away. This is my backyard.
Who wants to play with you and your old fairies anyway?
They aren't fairies.
Nuts to you. I don't want to play anyway.
Good riddance. I'm glad you didn't let him play, Mink. He'd only laugh. Now, we better talk to Drill and get some more instructions, Art. Now, here's your pad and pencil.
Where is Drill?
Drill? Here, Drill. Drill? He's in the rose bush, I think. I'll talk to him myself, and you write it down in the pad.
Okay.
Drill? Drill? Okay. Drill wants you to write down triangle.
What's a triangle?
Never mind. Drill will tell us when he wants us to know. It helps the invasion.
How do you spell it?
Well, I'll ask Drill. Drill, how do you spell...
Here's your mother, looking out the window.
Mink?
Yes, Mother?
Who are you talking to?
The rose bush, Mom. Only it's not really a rose bush. That's Drill.
Who's Drill?
He's planning the invasion.
Oh, I see. Well, you better come in and clean up for supper. Your daddy will be home soon.
In just a second, Mom. You got that, Art?
See now what? 4, 9, 7, and A, and B, and X, and a fork, and some string, and a hexagonal droopy.
Come on, Mink. Supper's in 10 minutes.
Okay, Mom. Just a minute. I have to tell Drill. I wish we didn't have to eat, though. It holds up the invasion.
Mink, for heaven's sake, slow down. You'll choke on that soup.
I can't, Mom. It's a matter of life and death.
What's the matter of life and death?
The invasion.
What invasion is that?
Oh, just some silly game the children have been playing.
Well, whatever it is, Mink, it'll wait until you've finished your supper, I'm sure.
I don't want any more.
You've barely touched anything.
Oh, but Drill is waiting for me, Daddy.
Drill? Who's Drill?
He lives in a rose bush in our backyard. Imagination, Henry.
Such nonsense.
I've got to run now.
You'll sit through dessert, young lady.
Oh, gee, Daddy.
And while you're at it, tell me more about this new game.
It's Martians invading Earth, Daddy.
What?
Well, not exactly Martians, Daddy. They're from... Well, gee, I don't know. From up.
And from inside that little head of yours.
You're laughing at me. Drill said you would. You'll kill Drill and everybody.
Oh, I didn't know you could kill a Martian.
But it's not really a Martian, Mom. Maybe it's from Jupiter or Venus, even.
Imagine.
They couldn't figure out a way to attack the Earth. We are impregnable.
Impregnable, dear.
Well, that's the word Drill said. Well, anyway, that was the word, Mom, the same word. Anyway, so we're helping them.
Now, who's helping who?
Well, the kids are helping the Martians.
Oh, fifth column, eh?
Well, Drill says in order to make a good fight, you got to have a new way of surprising the people. That way you win. And he says also you got to have help from your enemy.
Pretty slick, those Martians, using the kids for a fifth column, eh, Mary?
And hiding under rose bushes, too, Henry. Don't forget that.
Well, that's because grown-ups never look under rose bushes. Only kids.
Oh, I see. Well, finish your fruit, darling. You can play for an hour afterward.
Mary.
Oh, it's so nice out, Henry. There's no school tomorrow.
Very well. Till 8 o'clock.
Drill says after the invasion, we can stay up as late as we want. No more bets, either.
Oh, is that so?
We can watch all the grown-up televisor shows.
I don't wonder this invasion has caught on among the kids.
Well, some of the kids are giving us trouble, like Dale Britz and Petey Jarrett. They're growing up, so they won't believe in the invasion. They make fun. Worse than parents, even. I hate them worst. We'll kill them first.
I hope you're saving your father and me for last.
But Drill says you're dangerous.
What?
But I think they'll let me keep you because I'm helping so much. I'll talk to Drill. Maybe we won't have to kill you.
Mary, I think this nonsense has gone far enough.
Can I go out now, please?
Yeah, run along, dear.
Don't worry, Dad. I won't let them hurt you.
Mary, I think the child's taking this game entirely too seriously. Invasion.
Ah, Henry, you know how Mink is. Besides, all children have their aggressions. Better to get them out in the open, I suppose.
Maybe you're right. I was wondering about bridge with the Jacksons tonight, Mary.
All right. But, you look tired, dear. Why don't you sit in the relaxer for a while and get a massage? I'll sew for a while until it's time to... Oh, I wanted to call my sister Helen.
Oh, good. Find out when her husband's going to return my golf clubs.
televisor.
Would you please connect me with Mrs. Helen Rogerson on Channel 7-2Z, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
What is your channel, please?
817X, New Rochelle, New York.
Thank you. Just a moment. Go ahead. You can see your party now.
Hello, Mary. How are things in New York?
Fine, Helen. How are things in Pittsburgh? You look tired.
Oh, I've been having a terrible time with the children.
Sick?
No, just underfoot. They've got a new game that's got me just about crazy. It's called Invasion.
Did you say invasion?
That's right.
Well, isn't that strange? My Mink is playing it, too.
My boy Tim is all involved with some imaginary fellow named Drill who's running the invasion.
Must be a new password. Mink likes him, too.
How do you suppose these games start? My backyard looks like a scrap drive. They've got every conceivable kind of mechanical gadget arranged out there. I talked to Josephine Schiller in Boston, and she said her kids are wild about it, too. It's sweeping the country.
Remember when it was the Roomba?
Please, dear, I'm not that old. Mommy!
Oh, please, Minky, I'm on the televisor. Come on, see your Aunt Helen.
Hello, Ming. Hi, Aunt Helen. Look what I've got.
What is it, honey?
Well, it's a yo-yo. Look what I enrolled with. See?
Well, Helen, look, it vanished. Where did it go?
Into another dim...
She means dimension. Aren't they the darndest things? My Timmy brought one home, too. I can't figure out how they work. Make it reappear, honey.
There. See, it's easy.
Where'd you get it, dear?
Jill gave it to me, Mom.
Mink?
Bye, Aunt Helen. Gotta run now.
Mink, you come back here. I want to talk to you.
Head, Mom. 0 hour, 5 o'clock.
Mink!
Bye!
Oh, I can't understand it. The child's never been so unruly. Helen, do you suppose that...
What?
Nothing. Just a wild thought that... Say, the reason I called, I want to get that black and white cake recipe, and Henry wants his golf clubs. I don't know what he'll do, but...
What was that?
I don't know. One of the children must have been hurt. I'll have to run and see. Call me back tonight, will you?
All right, Mary. Bye.
Mink, come here.
Yes, Mom.
What is it? Who screamed?
Peggy Ann.
All right, what happened?
Well, she got scared and went home.
Did you hit her?
No, she just got scared. She's a scare baby anyway. We won't let her play anymore. She's getting too old.
Now, Mink, tell me why she cried.
No, I can't.
Mink, you'll answer me this instant or come inside. I've had enough of this nonsense.
Gee, I can't quit now, Mom. It's almost 0 hour.
Then tell me what frightened Peggy Ann.
Okay, she saw Drill.
Drill?
He almost came through. He was just testing.
Through what?
Well, those pipes and things we set up. She looked into one of the pipes and screamed. I guess she saw Drill.
And no one hit her?
Uh-uh.
Very well, Mink. I'll call Peggy Ann's mother and see how she is. And I'll call you for your bath in half an hour. Your father and I want to go out tonight.
You won't be able to go out, Mom.
Why not?
0 hour is 5 o'clock, Mom.
Hello, dear.
Oh, you home already, Henry?
Yes, I thought I'd relax a little before we went to theater. Where's the little one?
Out back.
Same game?
Same game. They've got a stack of pipes and hammers and spoons a mile high out there.
Children, why do we have them?
Yeah, strange little creatures, aren't they? Even Mink, Henry. She's a part of us, and yet what do we really know about how she thinks and feels?
Well, I didn't mean to start a philosophic discussion.
Kids are such a queer mixture of love and hate, though. Even normal, healthy kids. They need you and they're dependent on you, and yet they resent that dependence.
You sound like a child psychology course I once took.
I wonder if they ever really forgive the whippings and the commands we have to give them sometimes. I wonder if we ever forgot them when we were children.
Look, I'd like to discuss this with you, dear, but we do have a theater date, and it's almost 5 o'clock now. What's happened to the kids? They're so quiet. When children are quiet, you know there's some mischief. Oh. What's that sound?
I don't know.
These kids aren't playing with anything electrical, are they?
I'm sure they are. At least
Just the same. I'd better go out.
Henry, tell them to put off the invasion.
What? Mary, don't get upset. It's just a game. Good Lord, what's that? Look out the window, Mary. What is it? Where are the children? Mary, why are you shaking? What did you see?
Henry, quick. Up to the attic.
They aren't in the attic.
Yes, the attic. Quick.
Mary, come back here. Mary! Mary, don't go up. They aren't up there. Mary, you out of your mind? There's no one up here.
Quick, shut the door. Lock it.
But there's nothing up here. What is wrong with you? Mary, come to your senses.
Henry, we've got to stay here and hide.
What are you talking about?
I saw it. Through the window, Henry. It was horrible.
What?
It is an invasion.
For heaven's sake, let's get down out of this attic and talk this over sensibly. I want to find out if Mink is all right.
She's all right. I saw her. She was leading them around the corner of the house.
Leading who? The kids?
Shh.
It's nothing.
Listen. The front door. They're coming!
Good Lord, those kids sound like 50 men with boots on.
Not men. Oh, please, God, don't let them find us. Don't let them please.
I don't understand. Who's there? Who's down there? I demand that you answer me.
They're coming. The whole house is shaking.
Who's there?
Be quiet. They might go away. Henry?
Mom? Dad? Are you in the attic?
Henry, listen.
It's Mink. Mink. We've got to save her.
Henry, you don't understand. She's leading them.
What?
She's leading them. She's on their side. Oh, please, God, forgive them.
The children on their side?
She told us, but we wouldn't believe her. Henry, they're coming out!
Mom? Dad, we know you're in there. Well, I guess you better melt the lock, Trill.
Henry, the lock! It's melting! The door! Oh, dear God!
Mom? Dad? Oh, I see you now. Peek-a-boo!
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
The Magic Island is going to be submerged. The Gregory yacht is slowly sinking below the surface of the island as the water is pumped out of the lock in which the yacht has been held. G-47 has just left the radio cabin after assuring Mrs. Gregory and Jerry and Joan that they were quite safe on board the yacht. Captain Tex Bradford left half an hour ago to swim outside the rings of fog and gas surrounding the island and release a pigeon to Johnson's boat. The yacht is ready to be drawn into the island's submarine lock. The giant pumps have lowered the water in the lock to the level of that within the island, and the boat rides easily. But in the radio cabin, Mrs. Gregory, Joan, and Jerry are terrified.
I'm going out on that deck, Jerry. Orders or no orders, I'm going out there.
But, Mother, Captain Bradford said you were not to do that.
Oh, might as well go now, I guess. We didn't fool anybody.
You think G-47 knew Tex was out there swimming when he came into the cabin just now?
Yes, Mother. G-47 was smiling and quite pleased with himself. And when he looks and acts like that, it is only because he has done something particularly mean or terrible to someone.
That's what I thought, too. You know, when the old guy said we needn't worry if we were all on board, he knew we weren't all on board. So we might as well go out on deck and watch how this thing is done.
G-47 must have known we would be going out. He didn't even close the door.
G-47 knows nearly everything that everyone is going to do, almost before they know it themselves.
But if Tex is out there somewhere, Swimming beyond the end of the pier, he'll be helpless. What can we do about it?
Nothing right now. But Tex has probably got some ideas of his own, and I'll bet this island don't do any sinking without his getting on it.
But that would do him no good, Jerry. If he were not admitted to one of the chambers, he would only drown when the island was completely submerged.
Oh, I can't stand this any longer. Come on, I'm going out on deck.
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, look at that. Why, we're way below the top of the island.
Yes, Jerry. This lock between the piers is like a great steel aqueduct. Are these piers solid to the ocean floor, Joan?
Oh, no, Mother. Only to the 5th level, and only 2 of them have locks between them as this one has, so the water may be pumped out. The false bottom is steel. From the 5th to the 10th level, the main part of the island is round and smooth, so that it may all be submerged.
You really mean the whole island will go down till the top of it is 40 or 50 feet below the ocean?
Yes. Large ships pass over it easily, and the island is so smooth and tapering toward the top and center that when a ship tries to anchor here, the anchor merely slides over the top of the island.
Gee whiz.
And we can do nothing. Just stand here and wait until we're taken into that lock.
Hey, listen. The pumps have stopped. We must be down.
Yes, Jerry. The water in this lock is now at the level of the water in the lock inside the island. The gate will open into the island now.
There is a lock gate in that smooth wall ahead?
Yes, Mother. See, it is opening now.
Golly. It's opening just as easy and as quiet as everything else on this island works. Not a sound from it.
No, but for the water rushing through it to even up the levels, we shouldn't have noticed it. And how light it is back in there.
The Euclideans use a great deal of light where it will not be seen from outside. All the subterranean chambers are brilliantly lighted.
We're moving. The boat's starting to slide into the lock. Are we being pulled by magnets, Joan?
Yes. The floor of this lock is covered with a series of magnets. The boat is perfectly controlled.
But from where? I see no one. Not even on that ramp along the inside of the lock.
It is all controlled from the central chambers. The position of the boat is clearly indicated by the action of the magnets.
Boy, what a place this is.
And when we are inside, what can we do then?
Hey, wait a minute. The mast is sitting at the top of the lock. It's going to crack.
Well, can't we stop it? I'll gladly unset the mast rather than break it.
No, Mother, there's no time. The yacht is being put in here because of some emergency. It will just break the mast off. It has happened to other boats here.
Gee, there goes the radio spars. Now we haven't much of an area left.
The mast is nearly broken now. I hope the strain doesn't start the seams in the hull.
Will we be safe standing here?
Sure we will. Those deck plates will hold all right. The whole thing's going to fall on the after cabin there.
Oh, there it goes.
Look out for flying splinters. Gee, that's too bad, Mrs. Gregory. It did a lot of damage.
Oh, Mother, your beautiful boat.
Oh, never mind that. I can get another boat, but Tex.
Quiet, Mrs. Gregory.
Mother, you must be careful.
Oh, I know, and I suppose G47 can hear all we say, but I've reached the point where I don't care. Tex is out there somewhere, and nothing else matters to me.
It all seems so hopeless, doesn't it? And you love the captain so dearly. I'm very sad for you, Mother.
Oh, me too, Mrs. Gregory. But don't give up hope. Tex is a smart guy. Don't tell him what he's done.
You're just saying that to cheer me up, Jerry. You know there isn't one chance in a million Tex could be safe.
Well, I got a hunch. And when I get a hunch, everything's going to come out slick.
Look, Mother. The stern of the boat is nearly inside the lock now.
Yes, dear. And soon the gate will close, and Tex will be outside in the water. He can't swim forever. So many things might have happened to him.
Take it easy. Please, Mrs. Gregory. You're so swell, and I'm so sorry for you. Well, I could bust right out and bawl like a girl, but it wouldn't do any good.
Oh, you're right, Jerry. You're a sweet boy. Tex would want me to keep my chin up.
Why do you say that, Mother? Keep your chin up. Your chin has not fallen down.
Oh, Joan, my dear, you and Jerry would almost make anything possible.
We're pretty swell, ain't we?
Jerry, I have told you that ain't is not correct.
Well, I know it ain't.
Then why do you insist on saying it?
Yeah, the gate's closing. The yacht's inside. And out there in that cold water, in the dark.
Now, steady, Mrs. Gregory. Don't say any more now. Someone is coming along this ramp, coming toward us. Not a word about how we really feel. You too, Joan. Keep a stiff upper lip.
But how will it help anyone for me to keep my upper lip stiff?
Oh, forget it. Just say nothing. Let me do the talking.
I think you might well be trusted to do it better than the rest of us, Jerry. Yes, someone is coming and making no sound, of course.
It is G47. And that is very strange.
Why do you say that, Joan?
That's what I'd like to know. I don't think anything that guy does is strange anymore.
It is strange that G47 would come down into the submarine locks. He always stays in the main control chamber when submerging and leaves these locks to his assistants.
He's certainly looking the yacht over carefully.
I know what he wants. I wish he'd come over here and get it over with. That guy makes me feel like I had some porcupine soup with the needles in it.
I do not understand what you mean.
Never mind, Jerry, dear. Hush now. Here he comes.
Hey there, G47. What's the idea of breaking up Mrs. Gregory's boat?
You will make him angry, Jerry.
I don't want him to think we're worried about anything else.
I must say that you've treated us rather roughly. Might we inquire, G47, what caused the sudden decision to run us into this lock?
You might, and you have. A little later, you will witness an interesting demonstration. If you care to come to the neptoscope control chamber, you will see... No, I shall not tell you. It will be more pleasant to surprise you.
We will be glad to come and witness any demonstration you care to give us.
Sure. Want us to come right now?
I think not until we are submerged. Is that not so, G47?
Precisely, Cleostra. It will have no value until we are submerged. You will bring the dear captain, of course?
Why, yes, of course.
Yeah, sure. We'll bring him, if he wants to come.
I feel reasonably certain Captain Bradford would be very happy indeed to have the opportunity of witnessing the demonstration from within the island. You will be notified when to appear. Then you may tell the captain if you can find him.
Gee, he's gone. Right through that wall.
Yes, Jerry. There are many automatic doors along the walls of these locks. There is nothing about it that cannot be explained, although if you were not watching closely...
Yes, Joan, dear, but never mind that now. Did you hear what G47 said? We might bring the captain if we could find him. He knows Tex isn't aboard. He knows we can't find him. He's taunting us. Tex is lost, do you
hear?
Here
now, Mrs. Gregory, you've got to quit that. Come on, in the cabin.
Yes, Mother. Someone will be watching us, and we must not let them see how we feel.
You take your mother's arm on that side, Joan.
Yes.
I'll open the door when we get to it.
No, Jerry. I'm going to stay right out on this deck. Stay where I can see, where I can watch for Tex.
But there is nothing to see, Mother. We are inside the lock. Walls of steel all about us. We could see nothing, not even the water of the ocean.
Oh, of course, John, you're right, but I feel so helpless.
Just a minute, Mrs. Gregory, and we'll be fixed up all nice inside the cabin. Then we can plan quietly what we can try to do, and you'll feel better. Here we go now. Go right in, Mrs. Gregory.
Come, Mother.
Yes, dear, yes, I'm all right.
Now, just a second, and I'll find the light switch.
Strange, Jerry. We left the lights on when we went out of the cabin.
So we did, Mother.
Yeah, that's right. I guess that falling mast must have put them out.
I put them out.
Hey, the captain.
Oh. Yes, I put the lights out just as the mast fell. So G47 would think the falling mast had wrecked the wiring, and I could move in here unnoticed.
Oh, Tex. Tex, dear.
There, now, Pat. Don't cry, darling.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I have found the light switch.
Well, don't turn them on yet.
Why not, Jerry?
Oh, just because.
But why not, Jerry? I will turn them on. Oh, Mother.
Oh, boy.
No, Jerry, no. Joan did perfectly right in turning on the lights.
Yes, dear, you did quite right.
Well, anyhow, I think they ought to be off on account of G47 seen in here. He thinks you're drowned, Tex, or still trying to swim around out there.
Well, this cloth will keep anyone from seeing in here. And I've got to tell you the news.
Yes, Tex, what happened? You can see what happened to us.
You know why the yacht has been pulled into this lock? Why the island is going to submerge?
Yes, but one thing at a time. In the first place, the pigeon got away safely. And he's been gone nearly an hour now. That means he's 30 or 40 miles from here on his way to Johnson's boat.
That's wonderful, Tex. And he ought to make it all right.
Gee, that's swell, sir. You did a slick job of it.
But, Captain Bradford, G47 knows you were swimming around out there. He must know it. And he would also know that you had released the other pigeon.
Yes, that's true. And they'll send airplanes or ray guns or something out to fly the pigeon down or kill it.
No, G47 doesn't dare send out a plane or a submarine or anything else.
Why not?
I see no reason,
because
Captain, why...
there's a large fleet of battleships coming. I heard guards talking on the pier about it. Some large fleet converging on this position to hold battle practice. And the island has to submerge.
Then Then they can't do anything to stop the pigeon?
Not a thing, son. That pigeon will get to Johnson's boat.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Clark Kent, otherwise known as Superman, is on the spot, for Herbert Calkins insists on making a test that cannot help but reveal the reporter's real identity.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. Say, when you buzz into breakfast tomorrow morning, treat yourself to a Pep Double Scoop. You know, that's this week's Pep Dish of the Week, and it's double everything you say for delicious. Here's the pitch. Just pour your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, into your dish as usual. Scoop out a hollow on each side and scoop in some juicy red raspberries. Add milk and sugar, and you've got it, a Pep Double Scoop. And believe you me, you've got a scooper-duper. You'll dig into those ripe red raspberries right along with tender, crisp flakes of Kellogg's Pep that are loaded with full wheat sunshine flavor, and with every spoonful, you'll say, "Brother, give me another." That's how slick Pep always tastes. Why, Pep's golden toasted flavor just naturally sends you, and sends your spoon right back for more, and more, till it hits bottom in your bowl, which is the right idea, especially now that we're sending the cereal grains to fellows and girls across the seas to help give them good nourishment. Remember that when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Make sure there's no waste at your house. And remember to pour it carefully if you pour your own Pep, because this is a particularly important time to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
And now, the adventures of Superman. After many years of study and research, Herbert Calkins, Scotland Yard's most famous detective, was convinced that he had solved one of the world's greatest secrets, Superman's double identity. To secure final proof, Calkins came to the United States, where he visited Clark Kent at the Metropolis Daily Planet and flatly stated that he, Kent, was Superman. Startled, Kent attempted to laugh the famous sleuth out of his theory, but was unsuccessful, and finally had to agree to submit to a test. As we continue now in Kent's office, the square-set, square-faced detective has produced a small cylinder in which, he explains, is a sterilized needle. Listen.
Hold out your hand, please, Mr. Kent. What for? Superman has impenetrable skin. Oh? If I can puncture your fingertip with this needle and draw blood, it'll prove conclusively that you are not he. But If I can't puncture your skin, it'll prove that I'm right and that you are Superman. Now then, please, hold out your hand, old chap.
But, wait a minute.
Your hand, please.
No, I can't do it.
Very well, then. Your refusal to make the test releases me from my promise. Now I shall go ahead and publish my book, revealing your double identity to the whole world.
Just a minute, Mr. Calkins. You don't understand. You see, Well, some people can't stand the sight of blood, you know. Not even a tiny drop of it, and
you expect me to believe you can't?
Well, I hate to admit it, but quite a few folks around here will tell you that I'm not very brave. In fact, one of my best friends calls me a mollycoddle.
You're putting on a good show, but there's no use.
Oh, there you are, Clark.
Lois, what a break.
Listen, the chief wants to see you at once. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were busy.
Oh, no, that's all right, Lois. As a matter of fact, you're just the person I want to see. Miss Lane, allow me to present Mr. Herbert Calkins, late of Scotland Yard.
Delighted, Miss Lane.
How do you... Did you say Herbert Calkins? The famous detective?
That's right.
Well,
Look,
golly.
Lois, I know you'll be glad to talk with Mr. Calkins a moment while I see what the chief wants.
Now, look here.
There's nothing I'd like better. I followed all of your cases, Mr. Calkins, and there's one in particular that I'd love to ask you about, the case of the London witch doctor.
Good. You two have a nice chat. I'll be right back. Now, into Lois's office. Should be a pin on her desk somewhere. Oh, yes, here's one. Now a match. Let's see. Oh, good. Here's one. What a spot I'm in. This Calkins is a smart potato, and he's got me cornered. With a little luck, I might be able to fool him. Yeah, I guess the flames made this pen sterile. Now for a quick visit to Mr. White's office.
Now, look, Kent, about this Baltimore story.
Whatever you want, Chief, consider it done.
Now, let's shake on it, huh? I want to shake your hand to seal the bargain.
What is this? Let go of my hand, Kent. What in thunder's come over you?
Well, what's the matter, Chief?
You cut my finger. What? Stabbed it or something. Look, what kind of a gag is this?
Hey, there is a drop of blood on your little finger. I guess I must have a rough edge on one of my fingernails. Here, wait a minute.
Oh, let go.
No, hold steady. I'll just brush it off. There we are. You better get some antiseptic on it right away.
Oh, nonsense. Can't even see the scratch.
Just the same.
Will you stop acting like an idiot? I said you can't even see the scratch. Now listen, Kent. I want to
look. I'll be back in just a moment, Chief. I've got to get rid of a visitor.
Well, hurry up.
I will. Oh, thanks very much.
Thanks. For what?
For your contribution.
But Clark is a bit of a sissy.
Oh, thanks for the send-off, Lois.
Well, I don't care, Clark. Mr. Corkin says that he wants to make a blood test on you for some reason, and you seem afraid to submit to it.
Well, I don't happen to like the sight of blood. You know that.
There, you see, Mr. Corkin.
Yes, I see, Miss Lane. Mr. Kent seems to have fooled you as he fools so many other people.
Fooled me? What do you mean?
That question, my dear, will be answered in an important book I intend to publish very shortly.
A book?
Precisely. Now, wait. I've changed my mind. What's that? I've decided to go through with the test.
Really? Why, what a big, brave man.
I say. What made you change your mind, old man? Never mind. I'm ready, Mr. Corkins. Very well. We'll soon find out. Hold out your hand, Mr. Kent. Well, if you don't mind, I'll stick the needle in my finger myself. But why? Well, you might stick it in too deep. Oh, now, really?
Of all the sissies...
You keep out of this, Lois.
Well, Clark.
Well, Mr. Corkins, here's the needle. But no tricks, my lad. I'm watching you. Well, all right. Here goes.
Quickly cupping his hand, Clark Kent pretends to puncture the skin of his little fingertip, where he had previously deposited a tiny drop of Perry White's blood. Then, still acting the frightened mouse, he cries out in pain.
Oh! There you are, Mr. Corkins. Blood. I can't look at it.
Will you stop being such a baby, Clark?
Are you satisfied, Mr. Corkins? Hurry, will you? Hurry. I don't want to faint. Just a moment, old chap. Now what? I'll just take this stuff up in the eyedropper there. Like this. Put it in this bottle. There we are. Can I look now?
Honestly, just wait until I tell the Chief and Jimmy about this.
Oh, please don't tell them, Lois. Well, what about it, Mr. Corkins? Are you satisfied now?
He should be thoroughly satisfied that you're as brave as a mouse.
Look, Lois, I will admit this is a bit of a stumper, Mr. Kent. But I'm not saying yes, and I'm not saying no. Yet. There remains something I must do first. Goodbye, Miss Lane.
Goodbye, Mr. Corkins.
But what about... I'll be in touch with you later, Mr. Kent.
Hello, Lois Lane speaking.
Are you there, Miss Lane? This is Herbert Corkins.
Oh, yes, Mr. Corkins. Wasn't that the silliest scene in Clark Kent's office just now?
Well, I wouldn't call it silly. I've just examined the specimen of blood under my microscope.
Don't tell me. Let me guess. It came from a mouse.
Oh, no, it's human, all right.
I can't believe it.
But I'd like to talk to you about it, as well as about something else I believe you'll find most interesting.
Really? What is it?
I prefer not to discuss it over the telephone, if you don't mind. Could you possibly get away from your office and meet me at the Somerset restaurant?
I can and I will. This sounds intriguing. When?
Shall we say in 15 minutes?
Right, Mr. Corkins. I'll be at the Somerset restaurant in 15 minutes.
Replacing the telephone, Lois Lane quickly powders her nose, puts on her hat, and hurries from the Daily Planet to meet Herbert Corkins. What does the famous Scotland Yard detective have to tell her? We'll know in a moment when we return for the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
You know, breakfast sure does give your appetite the old come on when there's a bowl of Kellogg's Pep at your place at the table. Pep looks so sunny and so crisp and golden you want to pull up a chair and pitch right in. And Pep, the Sunshine cereal, tastes just as good as it looks, believe me. Pep's Sunshine flavor is so smooth and rich, why, it kind of tickles your taste. And the delicate crispness of each tender flake of Kellogg's Pep is so terrific, each spoonful teases for more. Yes, sir, Pep is a surefire hit when it comes to brightening up breakfast. Helps start you off in the right mood for a good day. You see, when there's Kellogg's Pep for breakfast, you're getting solid whole wheat nourishment plus. So it's a slick trick to polish off every single toasted crisp flake in your bowl. And, say, here's another angle. Nowadays, the cereal grains, like the whole wheat and Kellogg's Pep, are being sent to fellows and girls overseas. So it's not a good idea to waste cereal. Keep on the beam when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Don't waste it. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. And say, kind of keep an eye on your younger brothers and sisters, too. That's a cinch, isn't it? Just be sure to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Seated at a table with Herbert Calkins in the Somerset restaurant, Lois Lane's eyes have been widening more and more as she listens to what the famous English detective has been telling her.
What? That Superman? I can't believe it, Mr. Calkins.
If you'll forgive my saying so, Miss Lane, I've never been wrong yet. I've worked for years on this case. I've collected mountains of incontrovertible evidence, photographs, the only footprint of Superman's in existence.
I know you told me, but Clark, I just can't believe it. Superman is so...
Think, Miss Lane, now think. Certainly a bright young lady like yourself must have suspected a connection between Kent and Superman at one time or another.
But it's impossible, Mr. Calkins. Superman isn't afraid of anything, while Clark, as anyone can see, he's afraid of his own shadow.
Nonsense. He's very clever. He puts on an act, as you Americans say.
An act?
Certainly. The more unlike Superman you think him, the less likely you are to suspect his real identity, you see?
Yes, I see what you mean, but... Oh, wait a minute. You're wrong. Superman has impenetrable skin. If Clark were he wouldn't have been able to puncture his finger.
I don't believe he did.
Well, how can that be when you saw him?
I saw him appear to prick his finger, and I saw the drop of blood. I'm convinced, however, that he tricked me.
Why, how could he?
I don't know how, but I'm certain he tricked me in one way or another. However, I mean to make sure, by Jove.
Well, how? Goodness gracious, I'm all excited, Mr. Calkins.
I've evolved another test, which our friend, clever as he is, won't be able to get out of. It'll prove, definitely, whether he is or is not Superman. But in this, I'll need your help, Miss Lane.
Me?
Yes. Will you help me?
Oh, will I? And how? Why, if what you say is true, it'll be the biggest story of the year, of the century. And what a laugh I'll have on Clark. You tell me your plan, Mr. Calkins.
Righto. With your cooperation, I can't fail. And by tomorrow night, Superman will be revealed as Clark Kent. Now, this is what I wish you to do.
Carefully, Herbert Calkins completely outlines to Lois Lane his plan to prove conclusively that Superman and Clark Kent are one and the same person. What is the ace detective's plan, and will it succeed? Tomorrow's episode brings another battle of wits between Scotland Yard's greatest sleuth, the man who has never been wrong, and Superman, who battles to guard the secret he holds more dearly than his life. Be sure to tune in, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. You know, gang, you never forget a famous name. Like Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Kellogg brightens up breakfast with Kellogg shredded wheat. 15 crisp, tender biscuits in every package. There's loads of natural nut-sweet flavor in toasty Kellogg shredded wheat. Loads of fine nutrition, too. It's whole wheat. And these plump, delicious biscuits are just the right size, made to fit the bowl. Try them soon. Ask Mother for Kellogg shredded wheat. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
If you really want to know what happened, Inspector, ask Toby. Yes, Toby, who is only a ventriloquist dummy, but who knows more than you think. If you want to hang me, let him be a witness.
Out of this world. Columbia's parade of outstanding stories of those moments when reality turns to illusion, when fancy becomes fact, sharp, shocking fact. Tonight, a remarkable adventure from the successful English motion picture Dead of Night. A story which for the next half hour will take you out of this world.
Stop! Stop! Here now, Tompkins, here now. Enough of that noise. You're disturbing all the other prisoners.
God, tell me, where's Toby? What have they done with my Toby?
Ah, so it's Toby again, is it? Now stop all that fuss about the dummy. I won't get afford any more noise in that solitary confinement for you.
But I must see Toby. Oh, God, I'll pay you anything if you bring Toby to me.
Ah, you ventriloquist, a queer one. All this fuss about a talking doll.
He's not a talking doll. Don't you understand? He's Toby. Where is he? What's happened to him?
How should I know? Probably safe enough. The inspector will take care of him.
Well, you tell the inspector to send Toby back to me. Back to me, do you hear? Tell him I want Toby and I want him right now.
Sure. Inspector Dodds will be happy to do anything you say.
You're an impertinent fellow.
Oh, yeah, you're a rough one, all right. You're just lucky I ain't in here for murder. Lucky that fella Leswell you shot is coming along, all right.
Leswell? Whatever happens to him makes no difference to me. I wish he was dead. He tried to steal Toby from me.
No, ain't that a pretty thing to say? Ain't you a
charge? I'm sorry I caused you any trouble. All I want is one favor. Please. Go to the inspector, go to somebody, go to anybody and tell them that I've got to see Toby. I've got to see Toby.
Inspector. He's raising a devil of a row down in the cells. Keeps yelling he wants his dummy brought back to him.
I see. Well, if letting Tompkins have the dummy will keep him quiet, perhaps we can arrange it.
Oh, good heavens, sir. Is that him there? In the chair?
Huh? Oh, yes, that's Toby.
How cool. Sits up in the chair real lifelike, don't he, Inspector? Amazing, ain't it?
It's fantastic that a man could be attached to such a thing.
Queer how Tompkins keeps saying, if you want to know why he shot Laswell, ask the dummy. He's an odd one, all right. Imagine asking anything from the likes of this. Such a blank, idiotic little face he's got. Yeah. So you're Toby, are you? So it's you that's responsible for all the trouble I'm having with your master today. Poor Mr. Tompkins. If I wasn't a mild man, I'd change that smelly smirk on your face. I'd give you a real sad look, I would.
All right, now hold on there. Do you think that stick of wood will answer you?
Eh? Oh.
You know very well only a ventriloquist can make a dummy talk.
Well, sorry, sir. I guess I did look a bit foolish.
Yeah, so before we all do, we'd better get to the bottom of this. God, bring Tompkins up here. Time we had a little talk. Tompkins, if I promise that Toby will soon be returned to you, will you cooperate with me?
Toby? Is he here? Is he near me here?
Yes, but you can't see him yet.
But I must see him, Inspector.
You will, but not before I have certain facts.
Certain facts?
About your quarrel with Nell Laswell. Now, if you tell me the whole story, I may be able to help you.
Help me? Why? Why should the police help me?
Because it's part of my job.
Yes, but you've done your job. I've admitted I shot Laswell. I did it. What else matters?
Your motive.
He tried to steal Toby from me. Isn't that motive enough?
Tompkins, I really can't understand you.
Understand? Of course you can't understand. I wouldn't expect you to. You've never spent years, endless years, playing shoddy, cheap music halls, starving out at the elbow because you couldn't find a partner who understood you. You never toiled day and night for weeks on end, creating somebody like Toby who could go to the big time with you. Oh, Toby could tell you what it's been like, all right.
Unfortunately, Tompkins, Toby has shown no inclination to speak to me as yet.
Toby would appreciate that, exactly. Yes, indeed he would. Really, what have you done with him?
You must be him soon enough, I promise you. But first, I want to know what makes you think Mel Laswell tried to steal Toby.
Oh, I was aware of Laszlo's intentions right from the start, Inspector. Even before I met him. I had a premonition that somebody might separate me from Toby. I couldn't stand that. I'm as much to him, yes. He to me.
I see, yes.
When I met Laswell at the club that night, I realized almost at once that he might be the one to cause the trouble. I suppose you've seen Laswell. You know the sort he is. Regular troublemaker.
Yes, Tompkins, I've seen him. Now come to the point.
Well, as I intimated before, Toby and I have been playing all the better music halls in the last few years. Top billing, you know. And then we got our engagement at the Kit Kat West End nightclub. That's about as high as Toby and I, or any act for that matter, can go. We were standing backstage, waiting for the dance act to finish their turn. It's only a standard act, not particularly hard for us to follow. And then Bigelow, the master of ceremonies, came along.
Glad to see you're ready to go, Tompkins. You're on as soon as they finish the waltz.
We know our act, Mr. Bigelow.
Well, just so you know yours as well.
Not Toby.
Well, I don't want him to forget to take the chair out tonight.
I have the chair right here. Now, don't worry. It won't happen like it did last night.
And do us the favor of getting off the floor when you've introduced us. You messed up the whole first part of our act standing behind us.
Here, now don't say that. After all, it was your opening night, and how was I to know your act?
You did it deliberately. You were trying to cut in on our laughs.
Now, look here. I don't have to take this kind of stuff.
Toby, that was not at all professional. Mr. Bigelow, I apologize, since Toby doesn't seem to have the grace to do it.
Very well, I accept it. Eh? Well, well, now, what do you think of that? Husband, you take me in Tompkins. Deuce if I don't get to thinking that dummy is a living thing.
Bigelow is a terrible ass, isn't he, Tompkins?
By Joe, it's remarkable. Tremendously real, you know, the illusion.
Oh, rock.
Oh, by the way, you'll want to be particularly good this evening. You have a rival out there.
Mm-hmm. Who?
Laswell. Mel Laswell, the American. The ventriloquist from the States.
Laswell?
Oh, don't tell me you haven't heard him on the wireless. Here, look. Have a look. He's at the front table over to the left.
Oh, yes. Yes, I see him.
Oh, and who's the gorgeous young lady?
His wife. He's awfully good. World's greatest ventriloquist, I've heard say.
I like her.
Don't you recognize Patterson, Bigelow? He may be the best, and again, he may not be the best.
And you're pretty jealous, aren't you, Tompkins?
I'm nothing of the sort.
In fact, you feel more uncomfortable than ever tonight working in front of a real artist.
Now, see here, Toby.
But as usual, I'll carry you along.
You'll carry me. I'll have you know I carry this out.
Please, both of you.
Stay out of this, fat mouth.
Now, see here, joke's a joke, but when you used to... By George, you took me up the road again, Tompkins. I thought you and this wooden nymph were rowing. As though he were human. Imagine me thinking he's actually human.
Stop clattering, rubber. Let's get out there and bring us on.
Yes, of course.
And don't forget the check.
Oh, wait. Oh, here it is. Look, I'm going to introduce Laswell before I bring you off.
Must you?
That's right, little boy and girl with great big hands, behind the stump, steaming all the United Kingdom. And now, ladies and gentlemen, and visiting royalty, before I present to you our next little feature, I'd like to call on a distinguished variety artist who is here tonight. You've all heard him on the American wireless and seen him in the American cinema. Mel Laswell. I ask Mel Laswell to stand up and enjoy that well-known tic-tac hospitality. I'm sure that beautiful woman he's with is a much happier burden on his knee than McGill Toole, whom you've seen so many times. Stand up, Melvin Laswell. And now I want about to bring on an act the like of which Mr. Laswell has never seen. Our own British ventriloquist, Eric Thompson, and his talking timber, Toby.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hey, Thompson, go easy on that morning stuff.
How come, Toby?
Well, that man over there looks like the truant officer.
Why, that shouldn't bother you, Toby. You've been a very good boy, haven't you?
Why, yes, but I'm out of school.
Out of school? Why?
Appendicitis.
Out of school because you have appendicitis?
No, not because I have it, but because I couldn't spell it.
Now, Toby, my lad, you better watch that appendix of yours. After all, people die of appendicitis, you know. And then you'd be a skeleton. I bet you don't even know what a skeleton is.
Get a good grip on your nose, darling. That guy's got the worst material in the British Isles.
No, what a skeleton is.
I feel so you're enjoying this. People are watching
Well,
you.
then, what is a skeleton?
A skeleton is a lot of bones with all the people scraped off.
You know, Toby, I saw a very strange thing the other day. Toby, are you listening to me? I said I saw a very strange thing the other day.
All right, you saw a very strange thing the other day.
I don't blame the dummy for being embarrassed.
My master.
Now, here, Toby, that's not the proper attitude for a bright lad like you. I said I saw a strange thing the other day. There were 12 men standing under one umbrella, and not one of them got wet.
And not one of them got wet. Now, I know the payoff to this guy, but I won't say. And Mr. Laswell knows too, don't you, Mr. Laswell?
What goes on here now?
Come now, Mr. Laswell, I know you do. You give the answer.
Toby, please.
Please, darling, this is embarrassing.
Well,
Say
Mr.
something.
Laswell,
If this guy keeps writing me, I will get him
this
paid back.
dummy's dummy says that he saw 12 men under one umbrella and not one of them got wet. Why not, Mr. Laswell?
Because it wasn't raining.
Correct, because it wasn't raining. Now, you see, Thompson, everybody knows your joke. I'm humiliated, actually humiliated to be up here with a third-rate ventriloquist like you.
Well, if you don't like your material, why don't you try rewriting it?
Rewrite it? Did you ever hear of anybody going into St. Paul's and offering to rewrite the Bible?
Then just what do you propose to do about it?
I'd go to work for Mr. Laswell in a minute if he'd have me. Melbourne, may I work for you?
No, let's go.
Wait, Claudia.
May I, Mr. Laswell?
Well, I pay Mickey O'Toole 75 cents a week. He'll wind up in my fireplace if you'll work for 50.
I work for nothing. Just a beautiful woman beside you.
The Laswell wife.
I don't care. I mean it. Ladies and gentlemen, you think this is part of the act, but it isn't. I think that Mr. Laswell is the greatest ventriloquist in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't blame me for this. It's Laswell. He's speaking all this through Toby. He's trying to steal Toby away from me.
Mel, is that true? Do you have something to do with this?
Relax, honey. Get the rest of this routine.
I'm being quite sincere, Mr. Laswell. I'll work for you and you won't have to say me at time.
Mel, are you speaking through Toby?
Well, Mr. Laswell, will you take me on?
Watch him try to get out of this one, Claudia. I'm thinking about it, Toby.
Oh, Mel.
Toby, either you behave yourself or I'll take you off the floor.
That's right. Just when I'm about to get a good job, call the MC back telling you to run away and hide. Come on out, Bigelow. Thompson, please go ahead.
All right. Just as you say, Thompson. Let's all and thank you for this little impromptu surprise.
Oh, brother, it's about time the MC took
It's
over.
all part of the show, friends. All part of it.
Oh, hey, Bigelow.
I give him a nice head. Give him the best of
That's how I knew, Inspector, that Laswell had taken more than casual notice of Toby. Oh, I could have forgiven him for his interference on the floor of the club. That might have been mere professional discourtesy. But there was something else in Laswell's attitude that made me fear the man. It was his personal interest in Toby. How he wanted to separate us. I became certain of this later when he came back to my dressing room pretending friendliness.
Anyone in there?
Who is it?
No, Laswell, Thompson.
Mr. Laswell. Well,
Oh, how do you do? You mind if we come in for a moment?
all right. Please do.
This is my wife, Mr. Tompkins.
Mrs. Laswell.
Mr. Tompkins?
Won't you sit down? Throw those dressing gowns on the floor.
Thank you.
Well, so this is your boy. Nice carving job.
I'm very handsome. Don't you think so, Mrs. Laswell?
Well, you certainly are, Toby.
Tompkins, I've been curious to know who made him for you.
Don't put your hands on him.
Oh, well,
I prefer that you let Toby alone.
Well, certainly you needn't worry. I'm quite handy with dummies myself. You certainly surprised me with that little act out front.
Your own part in it surprised me, Mr. Laswell.
Oh, believe me, Tompkins, I never...
You didn't expect anything, Mr. Laswell.
You see, Mr. Laswell, Tompkins' attitude requires some sympathy. He's quite aware he's not our equal.
Keep quiet, Toby.
Tompkins, how far does this gag go?
That depends on you, Mr. Laswell, and on just why you came to my dressing room.
Oh, only professional courtesy.
If you've come to make some sort of a bargain for Toby, I am not going to permit it.
Now, wait, Mr. Tompkins.
I will not have it.
Wait, Tompkins.
I will not permit it.
Whatever the Laswells have to say to me is my affair. You might even pretend you're a gentleman and make a graceful expert.
Toby, if you're trying to make me look ridiculous...
I'm succeeding. Yes, I know. Now go on over behind the screen and get your makeup off.
Very well, Toby, but I warn you...
Beat it! Pay no attention to him, Mrs. Laswell. I don't.
Well, I don't understand.
This fellow's amazing.
Not at all. He's stupid, really. Constantly interfering in my affairs. Mrs. Laswell, now that we're alone, may I tell you something? Something I'm sure you've heard before.
What is it, Toby?
That you're very beautiful. That I'm very fond of you, Mrs. Laswell.
Oh, now, look here.
And whatever Tompkins thinks, Mrs. Laswell, you're really a very nice woman.
Well, I'll be...
No, I don't like this.
Tompkins. Yes? Come out here.
Well? What is it?
How far do you want to carry a joke?
A joke?
Either you apologize to Mrs. Laswell...
Apologize? For what?
For the last crack you just made through Toby.
Did I?
Listen, you...
Really, Mr. Laswell, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mel, darling, let's get out of here.
You're not going to leave me, are you, Mr. Laswell? Please don't.
You're an awfully funny fellow, Tompkins.
Don't blame me for all this.
Take me with you, Mr. Laswell. I just want to be near her. If you're afraid I'll make love to her, you needn't worry. I wouldn't.
Tompkins, this is the most disgraceful demonstration I've ever heard.
What can I do about him?
Mel, please, come on.
I love her. I'll do anything if you'll just let me go with you, Mr. Laswell. Anything.
All right, Tompkins, you asked for it.
Oh, no, don't hit him. Don't hit him. Oh, Mel. Why did you do it? The man's not natural.
What's going on? I don't know what's eating that fellow. Rib's a rib, but he doesn't know where to stop. I guess he got the last laugh on me, making me lose my temper.
Well, he doesn't seem to be doing much laughing.
He's all right?
It's a bit done in. Can't say he didn't have it coming, though.
Oh, darling, I'm glad he didn't break the dummy when he fell.
And you do care what happens to me. I love you, Mrs. Laswell.
So you see, Inspector, I should have known then that I couldn't prevent Laswell getting Toby. I knew they'd be plotting the two of them.
I see. One question, Mr. Tompkins.
Yes.
Would you say that Mrs. Laswell is an exceptionally attractive woman?
To some men, perhaps.
And since we know that you think and speak through the dummy, isn't it just possible that you may yourself find Mrs. Laswell appealing?
Oh, what is this rubbish you're talking? Are you interested in learning the truth of what happened, or are you trying to muddle me up?
I'd like to hear the matter out, Mr. Tompkins.
Sorry. As you well know, I was sacked by the Kit Kat on the spot. I hardly spoke to Toby all the way home. I wanted to impress upon him the misfortune he'd caused us. But first, I hoped that Toby's attentions to Mrs. Laswell had embarrassed them both so much that Laswells would no longer feel any interest in him. But in my heart, I knew the Laswells hadn't finished, that at that very moment they must have been plotting. Plotting their next move to get Toby away from me. I'll tell you what that next move was. In our hotel, I carefully turned the key in the lock. Toby and I were secured for the night. I put him in his own little bed and then made ready for bed myself. As I moved around the room, his eyes followed me scornfully. And I thought of the revolver in my bag. I took it up. With the revolver in my right hand and the key in my left, I lay down on the bed. dozed off. I don't know for how long. Suddenly I was awake, my eyes staring. Toby was gone.
What is it?
Laswell, I want to talk to you.
No, be careful. It's Tompkins. The door is locked.
Where is Toby?
Get out, Tompkins.
Now come to Toby. Where is he? You've stolen Toby from me and I want him back.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if you're referring to your dummy, I haven't seen him. Now, get out.
No.
What's wrong, dear?
On the floor. On the floor at the foot of my bed.
Toby. Toby, there you are. I found you. Oh, my poor little Toby, you've been kidnapped.
Look, Tompkins, I don't know how your dummy got here.
Toby. Toby, speak to me. Wake up, Toby.
Look, Mel. Look how he's shaking that awful thing as though he's trying to waken.
Oh, you're not deceiving me, Toby. You know very well I'm here.
Go away and leave me alone. I'm through with you, Tompkins.
Oh,
Take it easy, Claudia. We've had all we can take of this, Tompkins.
Are you going to deny you stole Toby from me?
I certainly am. Look here, man. You're mad. You're ill.
Ill, Rabbi? You took Toby from me and you say I'm ill?
I didn't take Toby. You brought the dummy here. You must have brought it here. Well, maybe while you were walking in your sleep, but you brought it here. I'm going to prove it.
Stay away from the phone.
Nellie has a gun.
You can shoot if you like, but I'm going to prove to you that... Hello. Hello, give me the desk clerk, please.
Tompkins, I won't go with you. I'm going to stay with her forever. If Mr. Laswell will let me.
Clerk, this is Mr. Laswell in 722. I want to know if someone came to my room a few hours ago.
Is this some sort of trick?
A man came, you say, and he was carrying a ventriloquist dummy. You let him come up. Did you hear that, Tompkins?
I'm not deceived by this.
Will you describe the man for me, please?
No, you're a devil, Laswell. You stole Toby from me, now you're trying to drive me mad.
Well, here, take the phone.
No, I won't take it. You're tricking me again.
No, be careful.
Well, you won't succeed this time. No, I don't deny that I shot Laswell, Inspector, but I believe that provocation was ample. I dare say you'll agree. After all, Laswell turned a friend against me. An old and a very valued friend. He minds very much.
Tompkins, in due time, I may ask you to sign a formal confession on the basis of the story you've just told me.
No objection. I'll sign it. Oh, by the way, Inspector, I wonder if now you might let me see Toby again.
Well, I'd like to oblige you, but...
It's only for a short while, sir. I felt rather badly about not seeing him, especially after our trouble. And if we were given a little time together, perhaps Toby and I could straighten out our affairs.
Well, if you like, I think I can manage it. Perhaps have him brought down to your cell.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing Toby again. I am indeed.
And that's the story as Tompkins told it to me, Mr. Laswell.
It's incredible. I had some idea what was going on in the fellow's mind, but that is...
Mel, I'm so sorry for it.
Just one question, Mr. Laswell. You'll pardon my asking.
Yes?
Did you have anything to do with what's happened to the Kit Kat? I mean, you didn't project your voice through Toby.
Certainly not.
So I thought. This business has me baffled. If I thought Tompkins might be more dangerous than he's already proved.
Well, I'm afraid there is that possibility, Inspector.
Huh?
It may be that Tompkins has become so accustomed to thinking as two persons that the personalities have actually become divided.
Is that possible?
For one man to have two separate and distinct personalities? Yes, that's not rare. Well, I'll admit I've never heard of anything exactly like this business.
What will happen to him now?
It's a battle that Tompkins will have to fight out within himself. As long as he's in that cell without the dummy, he may learn to think for himself as himself again.
Good heavens, man. Look here, I permitted that dummy to be taken to the Tompkins in his cell.
You what?
Tompkins was so keen on having a dummy with him that
Do you think that will harm him?
Well, I don't know, but...
Inspector,
All right, here I am.
It's that Tompkins, sir. Jerry knows something awful in this cell.
What's happened?
We put the big doll in with him, like you said, sir, and right off he began arguing with it. Carrying on a fight, real lifelike. It's just like two people what hate each other.
Laswell, you were right. Come on, we'd better get to them before it's too late.
Well, all I can say is I knew you'd wind up this way sometime. Put away for keeps a jailbird.
Oh, Toby, I can't stand to having you talk to me that way. How can you be so ungrateful? I made you everything you are.
Ha! You made me, did you? You were the smallest of the small till I teamed with you.
Have you forgotten that once you were an empty, lifeless stick of wood?
Oh, come off it, Tompkins. You're a regular slush pot of sentimentality.
Please, be a little kind to me.
Get away from me. I can't stand the beggar. Why should I have anything to do with you? You've never done anything right. You couldn't even kill Lazarus.
Shut up, Toby. Shut up. Don't torture me.
I wish you had killed him. Then his wife would belong to me. I could be with her forever.
Oh, you fool. Don't you know that's impossible?
You're just saying that you're jealous because I love her.
Oh, no, I can't stand it. You're a monster. I've got to get rid of you. I've got to kill you, destroy you.
Tompkins, take your hands off me. I'm through with you. Take your hands off.
No. I'll kill you, you vulgar little swine. Little swine. You dirty beast, you child. Now talk back to me, you little monster. Now tell me I failed at everything. I smashed your face.
You can't kill me, Tompkins. No matter how you try, you can't kill me.
Come down. Toby, what have I done? Toby, I never meant.
Down this way. There we are.
Nell, he smashed the dummy.
Steady, Claudia.
Oh, it isn't real. It can't be.
We didn't reach him in time.
He seems to have fainted.
I guess we better see what we can do for the poor devil.
Certainly made a pile of kindling out of his dummy, didn't he?
Oh, Nell, what'll it do to him when he sees what he's done to Toby?
How is he, Inspector?
He's coming around all right. Tompkins, come out of it, fellow. Everything's going to be all right.
He's reviving. He's opening his eyes.
Come on now, I'll help you sit up. That's a fellow. Feeling a little better now, aren't we?
It's dark. He's looking around for the dummy.
Here we are, Tompkins. I guess this is what you're looking for. Your tummy's broken up a bit, but he'll be all right.
He said he'd kill me, but I told him he couldn't. I killed him. Isn't that wonderful, Mrs. Lazarus? Tompkins is dead. Now we can be together forever, the three of us. You want me, don't you, Mrs. Laswell? You've got to want me because I think you're beautiful. And I love you, and I'll be your slave always, always.
For the past 30 minutes, CBS has presented Out of This World, bringing you Charles Gusman's adaptation of the motion picture Dead of Night. Barry Kroger was featured as Tompkins and Art Carney as Toby. Original music by Albert Berman. Out of This World is directed by John Mosman for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in 11 white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are approaching a hideout near the Saturn City spaceport where two criminals are plotting a getaway. Ray guns in hand, the Space Patrollers burst through the door.
All right, both of you, get your hands up. Hold it, Barris. You heard the commander. Move away from that table, Kent. Move fast. Sure. Now, Corey, this is a blaster. Drop that ray gun.
Don't be a fool, Kent. You're through.
You haven't got a chance. You fire, so will I. And remember, a blaster is permanent.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, the Counterfeit Atom. Space Patrol, it's getting kind of late, and I'm getting kind of hungry. Hey, let's take time out for a big bowl full of rice checks.
Well, Captain Piso, rice checks. Tops with me.
Tops with me, too, Space Patroller, and it'll be tops with you, gang. Tops three ways. For taste, for size, for get up and go. There's one. And there's one for me. Space Patrollers, when you fill up your own bowls with those neat triple toasted shredded rice biscuits, you're getting one spoonful after another of the easiest, tastiest, bite-sized eating ever. Because rice checks are tops for taste and size. Tops for get up and go, too. Why, mornings after you finish off a good, nourishing breakfast with rice checks, you're ready to swing into action.
If you like whole wheat, try wheat checks. It's tops, too.
Yes, look for rice checks and wheat checks in the red and white checkerboard packages with the picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside.
Rice checks.
Wheat checks. And now today's Space Patrol adventure, the Counterfeit Atom. All over the solar system, dealers and collectors of precious stones are alarmed over the mysterious disappearance of several valuable gems. Losses have been reported by jewelers and private collectors on Earth, Mercury, and Mars. The latest victim is the Terra Gem Company. Local agents are completely baffled, so Commander Corey has personally taken over the investigation. With Cadet Happy, Buzz is in the vault of the Terra Gem Company, questioning the manager, Doran Chandra.
You're absolutely positive, Mr. Chandra, that those two diamonds are the only...
But I almost used to see it between that half the world and left those two stones. The combined value is more than a million credits.
You used the word fool. Couldn't the diamonds have been mislaid instead of stolen?
No. I placed them in the vault myself last night.
But there's no sign that the vault was broken into. And you told us that you were here this morning when the time lock opened it.
Yes, I know. Of course, very custom with the jewelers after handling costly gems. We don't mislay stones of that value.
Oh, who besides yourself has handled those stones, Mr. Chandra?
Several persons. All with complete respectability, you may be sure. And always within my presence.
And except when they're in the vault, the stones were never out of your sight.
No. Well, that's not exactly true. I permitted 3 persons to retain them for a few hours for a private inspection.
Potential buyers of them.
Yes.
Of course, they all returned the gems.
To me personally. And they were thoroughly tested.
Pretty sure that no imitations have been switched on them?
Exactly. I can assure you the real gems went back into the...
Mr. Chandra, I want the names and a complete description of everyone who showed up with those stones. This case of yours follows the same pattern as the other disappearances. In the absence of clues, I have to start with the men who were interested in those diamonds.
All right, Commander. If you come into the office, I'll give you all the information.
In an expensive suite at the Terra Hotel, a dignified, distinguished-looking man sits under a bright light, examining a large diamond through a magnifying glass. His companion nervously toys with a smaller stone, then finally speaks.
Let's put them away, Kent. Looking at them isn't going to make them any bigger.
This one is truly magnificent, Ferris. What a shame to have to break it up.
We'd better get off Terra. Chandra has probably discovered he's been robbed by now.
Robbed? All we can be sure of is that his diamonds have vanished. There's nothing to implicate me or you. Now that we're leaving anyway. A jeweler in Jupiter City has some gems in which I'm interested.
Ken?
Yes, Ferris, something on your mind?
I was wondering. This machine of ours, could we make just as much money by using it legitimately?
You're not suggesting that our operation is illegal.
Isn't it?
There's no law against using our equipment. Because no one but us knows it exists. So why borrow trouble? Now run along, Ferris. Get our machine aboard our spaceship. I want it ready for use when I reach Jupiter City.
Back in Space Patrol headquarters, Buzz and Happy carefully go through all the data available on the strange disappearances of jewels. After hours of checking and cross-checking, the commander points to a ruled chart.
Putting all the cases together, perhaps there are only 2 factors in town.
Yes, sir?
The disappearances have occurred with firms that had advertised an exhibition of a particularly valuable piece of jewelry, a famous collection.
And what's the other?
I've been checking to see if any name occurs more than once on the lists of prospective buyers. 2 of the names Chandra gave me appear twice. There's another gets taken on Mercury and Mars.
That means that some of these men have shown up at more than one jewelry store.
That's to be expected. A wealthy collector might have a hobby of traveling around and stuffing gems. Happy. Here's one name that appears in all the lists.
James Kent.
Kent has always asked to examine the gems privately. And he's always returned them neglected. In some cases, other persons handle the jewels after Kent gave them back to the jeweler.
Maybe someone Kent trusts goes around with them, they get the line on the gems, and steals them later.
Except that still leaves the mystery of how the gems disappear.
But the only thing to do is have an agent follow Kent and see who hangs around him.
There's one strange thing about Kent. Possibly it's due to faulty memory on part of the jewelers, but no 2 descriptions quite match.
Oh, but these jewelers must know him, or they wouldn't let him take the stone.
Kent has excellent credentials. Appears to be quite wealthy. He's staying at the Terra Hotel, checking out. He has reservations on a passenger ship to Jupiter City.
Jupiter City? Hey, we're due there for an inspection. The actual crook must be a magician. All those jewelers insist the gems were locked in their vaults.
I'm going to alert the biggest jewelry firms in Jupiter City to notify Space Patrol headquarters and to let out any really valuable articles on Jupiter. I'm going to install a special detecting device in the vaults. All right, Hap, let's clear up this routine so we can blast off for Jupiter.
24 hours later, in one of the finest rooms of the Hotel Jupiter, James Kent and Ferris examine an array of jewels.
Interesting assortment, Ferris. However, we'll settle for the emerald necklace.
But, Kent, that doesn't make sense. It's going to take a long time to duplicate each one of those stones. The 3 big rubies are worth more. I can take them out in half an hour.
Yes, but the emeralds are smaller. I can easily dispose of them separately without cutting. The rubies would be a problem.
It's a shame to let them go.
Let's take the emeralds, Ferris. Have you finished the job in 2 hours?
Yes, sir. You know, Kent, I wish we could perfect that thing so it would duplicate currency. Then we wouldn't have to go through all this hocus-pocus with the jewelry outfit.
Currency is too complicated. The plant fiber that's the basis of the paper is organic material. And that means a complex molecular structure.
Those coins came out very well.
Sure, but nobody ever got rich counterfeiting coins. So, right now, gems are our best bets. We can transform energy into minerals and metals. With a real gem for a model, we can easily turn out exact duplicates atom by atom.
It's too bad our imitations don't last.
They last long enough for our purpose. Well, you better get going, Ferris. I want to get the counterfeit necklace and the real rubies back to the Imperial Jewelry Company before closing time.
Late that night, Buzz and Happy are at the Jupiter City Space Patrol headquarters, preparing a report on an inspection when a call comes from Special Agent Edwards, assigned to duty at the Imperial Jewelry Company. Rushing to the store, they're admitted by Edwards and walk through a dimly lit showroom to a huge vault.
Edwards, you're sure no one besides yourself was in the building? No, Commander. I was hiding out in the back room with the portable receiver turned on. Somebody had lit up, so I rushed to the vault. Vault door is closed. Yes, sir. As far as I can tell, it hasn't been tampered with.
Well, then what made the receiver light up?
Something must have happened inside the vault. The detector is sensitive enough to register any slight movement or change in temperature. Transmitted the signal to Edwards' receiver. You could open the vault now, Edwards. I cut off the master time clock control at headquarters after I got your call. All right, man.
Oh, it's swinging open.
Edwards, do you have a list of the jewels that have been checked out of the store?
Yes, sir.
I got it from the manager when he closed up. It didn't been returned. I watched the manager when he put them in the vault to be sure it was all accounted for. Let's check it over. All the stuff that anyone asked to inspect is all right down that page just as you ordered, see? All right, Edwards, let's take inventory. Three star sapphire rings, here. Rubies, they're the most valuable items. Thank goodness they're here. Who had them out? James Kent. We also have it. One of the gone? The necklace? I should have noticed that right away. Who had the necklace?
Well, if the emerald necklace is gone, why not the rubies and those other jewels?
Well, we know for sure that no one entered the vault. We really got a mystery in our hands.
Could the emeralds have just disintegrated?
Evidently they did. The detective registered their disappearance.
The white emeralds this time, and diamonds another. And always the jewels that have been out on approval.
James Kent is the only constant factor in the whole problem. Yet I don't see how he could have any more to do with this than you do.
Oh, how about that man that called on him at the Hotel Jupiter? This guy Ferris.
Ferris seems to work in a machine shop on Kepler Street. One of our agents placed him here. Well, we've got to start somewhere. Edwards, you go to the Hotel Jupiter and get a line on James Kent. Yes, sir. Matthew and I'll drive over to Kepler Street and see if we can find Ferris.
In the back part of a darkened machine shop on Kepler Street, Ferris worked swiftly under a dim light, unbolting a small, compact machine from the concrete floor. He is intent upon his work as he hears the back door open.
That you can. I'll be finished here in a minute. Then we... What's the idea?
Working pretty late, aren't you, Ferris?
Sure. Anything wrong with being industrious?
That depends on if you're being industrious or not. Isn't this an odd time to be removing machinery?
Well, this is my machine, and I got a right to be in this shop. Any more questions?
Yes. When you heard us come in, you thought it was someone named Kent. James Kent?
No, Charlie Kent. One of the fellows in the shop. He promised to come back and give me a hand. By the way, what kind of a machine is that? What does it do?
Yes, I'd like to know.
Well, it's a small electronic furnace, purifies metal. You put the sample in this chamber here. Then you turn on the current, and the induction coil around the chamber produces an intense heat inside the metal.
Commander, look out! Pat, watch Ferris.
Kent. A close call.
Let's get this machine out of here before they recover from the ray gun blast.
So what if they come out of it before we're finished?
In that case, Ferris, well, this machine shop is a veritable treasure house of fatal accidents.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. This is Dick Tufeld reporting on America's most heavily armed fighter interceptor, the Northrop Air Force Scorpion F-89D. In a moment, we'll hear from the test pilot on this plane, Bob Love, Korean jet ace with a record of 6 MiGs in 6 weeks. The primary job of the Scorpion is to protect our country from invading aircraft. Speed more than 600 miles per hour. Weight 20 tons. Now, Bob Love, recorded at Edwards Air Force Base.
You know, a fella has to be in top condition to test fly a fast aircraft such as the Scorpion. That's why I always make it a rule. Sleep well and eat well. So, for breakfast, I pick a cereal like Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. They're chock full of energy and really taste good. You'll like them.
Make sure you stay in condition the way Bob Love, Phil Houghton, and other top test pilots do. Every morning, eat a good, nourishing breakfast with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the cereals that are tops 3 ways. Tops for taste, for size, and for real get-up-and-go. That's Chex, rice, or wheat. Remember, they're tops with America's top pilots. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, the Counterfeit Atom. James Kent, posing as a legitimate collector of rare gems, has stolen millions of credits worth of jewels from reputable dealers without even revealing his method of operation. Borrowing real gems, he places them in a machine that can duplicate minerals atom by atom by transforming energy into a temporary form of matter. Kent and his accomplice, Ferris, keep the original gems and return the copies, which in a short time revert back to energy. Following a thin lead, Buzz and Happy apprehend Ferris in the machine shop in Jupiter City. But James Kent takes the space patrollers by surprise and renders them unconscious with a ray gun. Right now, as the effects of the ray gun wear off, Buzz and Happy get to their feet.
Well, they're gone, sir. And so's that machine.
I had no Ferris again anyway, but I never got a good look at Kent.
Neither did I. I saw him for a second as he left us, and his face was in the shadow. Say, Commander, that machine must tie in with the jewel theft. But how?
I don't know.
Maybe Kent treats the gems with something when he borrows them, and then later he turns on that machine, and radiations make the stones disappear.
The question is, do the gems reappear inside the machine?
Sounds fantastic, but... Well, unless Kent and Ferris actually got the jewels, there wouldn't be any point in them making them disappear from the vaults.
There's at least one more possibility. But we'll go into that later. Let's get back to headquarters and send out an alert on Ferris and Kent.
The two jewel thieves are now in a private cruiser outward bound from Jupiter in a vector calculated to avoid a regular space lane.
That experience in the machine shop ought to convince you, Kent. The Space Patrol and the gem dealers are wise to us.
Not necessarily.
I still say the jewelry racket is finished. Let's take a shot at duplicating currency. Maybe it'll pass.
Would you like the job of putting it in circulation? When it might vanish into thin air when you hand it to a sucker?
Yes, I see what you mean. Say, I've got it. Here's a gimmick that'll keep us inside the law. We'll duplicate ray guns, blast guns, and other weapons. They're metal, and they'll be a thief turn out by the hundreds.
Yes, but they won't be permanent. Besides, we'd be making and selling weapons without a license. How does that keep us inside the law?
Suppose we sell a Coca blaster and it vanishes. Is our customer going to complain to the Space Patrol?
Oh, she's got something. We'll have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, except Corey. If we only got rid of him, then we had a chance back at the machine shop.
Are you crazy? Right now, we'd be known murderers instead of suspected jewel thieves. But don't worry. I'll think of a way to get rid of Corey so no one can trace us. Wait, I've got it. Right. Suppose we take a few grains of poison with a mineral base and duplicate it in our machine. We slip it to Corey. It does its work, and then it vanishes. The best doctor in the solar system couldn't find a trace of it.
Really? It's the perfect crime. There's just one drawback. How do we give it to Corey?
Just leave that to me. I'll attend to it personally after we get to Saturn. Now, to figure out our new identity.
As Buzz and Happy prepare to leave Jupiter, a strange spaceogram message arrives at Jupiter City headquarters, addressed to the commander. Buzz reads it, and then hands it to Happy.
Do you think this is on the level, sir?
Well, the situation being what it is, we'll have to investigate every lead.
But who is this Arnold Block?
He calls himself an amateur lapidary.
What's that?
A lapidary is a man who cuts and polishes precious stones.
And he says he can give you information about these mysterious disappearances.
Yeah. See here, he says, my connections with gem dealers and collectors on all the planets sometimes bring me in touch with sordid matters that usually are best ignored.
Mm-hmm. But when the very livelihood of honest craftsmen is endangered by organized thieves, I must speak out, even at personal risk.
And Father Arnie says he's staying at the Hotel Polaris in Saturn City, and he'll give me the details if I need him to.
Saturn? It's a long way to go for a bite to eat.
We'll do on Neptune for the next inspection, so it won't be much out of the way to stop at Saturn for a couple of hours. We'll see what Arnold Block knows about this. But just as a precaution, Hap, when we reach Saturn, I want you to put on civilian clothes. While I'm with Block, you sit at another table and keep an eye on things.
Hours later, in the large dining room of the Hotel Polaris in Jupiter City, Commander Corey sits at a secluded table with Arnold Block. Anyone who had known James Kent might notice a faint resemblance, but on second glance he would observe the greater differences in manner, color of hair, and general appearance. As the commander and Block converse over their meal, Cadet Happy, in civilian clothes, watches unobtrusively from the table across the room.
Mr. Block, you say the next job this family is on the Apex Jewelry Company in Venus City. Now, how do you know that you've nicknamed it? I didn't mean to say the next job. I'm sorry. I should have said it's one of their intended operations. You know who these men are? Could you identify them? Well, that would be rather difficult. You see, I was examining some marginal... No, isn't that the governor of Saturn just sitting up on that table over there? There's some people in the way just now. Oh, no. Governor said he's a much bigger man. But, to get back to our subject, Mr. Block. Oh, my. Just noticed the time. Will you excuse me a moment? I have to make a space of my car. Important business, and I just can't put it out. Of course, go right ahead. It will only take a minute.
What's your signal coming in? Coming over in there.
We came to drop something at the time. Someone might be watching. I see us talking.
Yes, sir. Block that something in your glass when you turn your head a minute there. I think that means...
I'll see what I can make space for the car. Here, have the Paul face at the top. Look at that.
A few moments later, Arnold Block returns to the table and Buzz resumes the question. The luncheon over, the commander meets Happy in the street outside the hotel.
Block made a call all right, sir. But I couldn't face it. He was in a pay booth, and the others were all occupied.
I was afraid that might happen. But don't worry. I'll have the coins removed and examine them for Block's fingerprints. We'll also know the distance of the coin he made. And we'll know the time he made it. I don't know. It's down enough so the automatic recorder at Space Event Center can help us.
Yes, but how are you going to tell which fingerprints are Block's?
I can tell you now. Those are this spoon. When I got up from the table, I slipped in my mouth.
What do you think, sir, about Block?
I don't know. The information he gave me is pretty general. That was in the totally know of Kent and Travis.
Hey, how about that milk? You didn't drink any of it, I hope.
No. I poured milk out in a potted pan and Block was away from the table. Oh, careful. Don't touch it.
Sorry, sir.
Spilled the milk. I managed to slip the glass in my jacket pocket. Doesn't make a very neat ball, but we're going to get it to the lab to have it analyzed.
Later that afternoon, in the office reserved for him at Space Patrol headquarters in Jupiter City, Commander Corey checks through a stack of identification cards as Happy enters.
Well, I guess I must have been imagining things, Commander.
What's the report from the lab?
Negative. There was absolutely nothing in that milk, except milk. But still, from where I sat, it looked like Arnold Block deliberately got you to look the other way and drop something in your glass. Well, I guess he was just reaching for the sugar or something.
Possibly.
Oh, about the phone call. Anything on that one?
Yes, sir. In a way, it turned out to be simpler than I expected. The Spacephone serviceman had just collected from the coin boxes an hour before, so there weren't very many coins to check. But there were no coins with Arnold Block's fingerprints.
He didn't make a call after all. So what was he doing in the booth?
Block made a call to Draco City. Spacephone Center's automatic recorder showed it. It was the only call of that kind made from that particular spacephone during the period involved.
Who was the call to? To find out?
And a perfectly legitimate call to the Draco Tool Company. They make gem cutting instruments. And they're doing some special work for a Mr. Arnold Block.
Then Block must be on the level. Hey, wait. How did he make that call without dropping a coin in the slot?
He did drop it. The instrument registered a half-cut coin. That mechanism is foolproof.
Well, yes, sir. But didn't you say there wasn't any half-credit coin in the machine? Nothing with Block's fingerprint?
That's right.
I don't get it.
I think maybe it'll all clear up when we talk to Mr. Block. I've got an agent watching him. I'll have help me check through these records.
Almost at the edge of the Saturn City spaceport is a metal fence bearing the sign Saturn Salvage Company. At the rear of the lot, scattered with heaps of rusting metal, is a small shed. Inside the structure, Ferris regulates the controls of the machine, while a man in an ill-fitting suit looks on.
It's working fine. I've turned out 3 dozen since this morning.
I'd better knock off for a while, Ferris.
Just one more, Kent.
Don't call me Kent, even when we're alone. Someday you'll make a slip in public.
Sorry, Block. Well, I guess this one is cooked enough. You know, it's hard remembering who you are. Before Kent, it was Drake, and now it's Block.
Well, we shouldn't have any trouble. As Block, I don't look anything like Kent, do I?
No, you don't. It's amazing what scissors, a hair-dye job, and his floppy suit will do to a man.
It's not just in the appearance, Ferris. It's here, in the mind. I think there's a different personality. I walk differently, move differently.
You know? Well, see if you can tell these apart. 2 black garments. One's the real thing, and the other one is a duplicate.
They're the same. Way the same. They look the same. Which is the duplicate?
The one in your left hand. And it fires just like a real one, too. After the second, it becomes a ghost and vanishes.
I'll put them here with the others. Before we try to unload any of these weapons, we've got to know just how long they'll exist as matter.
That's what I'm doing now. See those figures on the bench where the guns are? When I pull one of them out of the duplicator, I mark down the time.
We'll set up a real system when we get to Neptune. We'll get a bunch of orders, then unload fast and disappear before our product does.
Yeah. Oh, have you heard anything about Corey?
No. He looks fine during lunch.
You know, those Space Patrol medics will have a real embarrassing mystery on their hands. What happened to Commander Corey?
And it's talking.
As I was saying, the Jupiter Giants don't have a chance against the Pluto Demons. Not with Edlinger pitching. And
all right, both of you, get your hands up. Hold it, Ferris. You heard the commander.
We're waiting at table, Kent. Let's see those hands in the air. You sure you have the right man?
Kent,
Block, whatever it is. Now move out here and move fast. Sure. This is a blaster, Corey. Now drop that ray gun.
Don't be a fool, Kent. You're through.
Yeah? You've got a ray gun. I've got a blaster. You fire, so will I. We'll both drop. But I'll be able to get up again.
He's right, Commander.
The cadet's got sense. Now toss those ray guns down, and Ferris and I will be on our way.
You're not going anywhere.
Hurry, I haven't got time to play games. This is your last chance. I'm going to squeeze the trigger and blast you.
Commander, his gun vanished.
That's what I was waiting for.
Keep out of it, Ferris.
All right, Kent. You want some more, or do you want to quit while you're losing? Now get up. Snap, I'll watch you. You scoop up those blasters. It's your fault, Ferris. If I'd had a real gun instead of one of those duplicates...
What do you mean, my fault? You were the one...
All right, cut it out, both of you. Okay, Corey. Where did I slip up? Was it the disguise as block? No, I never had a good look at you. Kent, you got fired. And it was the poison in the milk. You saw me drop it in.
No, and it wasn't the gun stealing that finally trapped you in. The thing that made me link Block and Kent was a simple, everyday spacephone call to Draco City.
What are you talking about? I made that as Block.
Yeah. But for a big-time crook, you're pretty cheap. You used a disappearing half-credit coin. When you gypped the company on that spacephone call, we, got your number.
An exciting action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Space Patrollers, you all know what sound effects are. You hear them all the time on your radios. But listen to these musical sound effects and see if you can guess what we're doing with Rice Checks and Wheat Checks. Yep, Space Patrollers, that's a big bowl filling up with Rice Checks or Wheat Checks. Man, oh man, it even sounds delicious. It tastes better yet. Those triple oven toasted biscuits are tops for taste. Now we're pouring on the cream. Listen, you can almost hear those crisp, crunchy checks filling up with that cream. And then for the first bite. Wow, what a bite! Sized just right, because checks are made of that modern bite-sized design. Makes them tops for size. Hey, that's you blasting off for a big day of action. After a good nourishing breakfast with checks, the cereal's tops for get up and go. So, gang, go get Rice Checks today. Get Wheat Checks, too, the official bite-sized cereals of the Space Patrol, in the red and white checkerboard package with the picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside. Rice Checks, Wheat Checks. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are walking through a warehouse at the Terra spaceport where two suspected criminals are standing by the controls of a loading train.
Yeah, that's Zanker, all right, Commander.
Yes, I wonder just how much of that cargo up there on the train is stolen.
Probably plenty of it. Uh-oh, he sees us.
Just a minute, Zanker.
Conlon, release that holding brake and drop the load down there.
Look out, Hap! Move!
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, Formula for Crime, when Rice Checks and Wheat Checks again present Space Patrol. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Bela Kovacs, Norman Jelly, Ken Mayer, and Stephen Robertson. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Rice Checks and Wheat Checks present exciting action on Space Patrol. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.